What happened in the Cavite Munity? Blessed afternoon, everyone. So I am the first presenter of Group 2. I am Lucila Tizarate and I will discuss on what happened in the Cavite Munity. 1872, a historic year of two events. Sa panahong 1872, may dalawang pangyayari ang naganap. Una ay ang Cavite Mutiny, a major factor in the awakening of nationalism among the Filipinos. Nagkaroon ng pag-aalsa sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Sargento Lamadrid. Mutiny, a rebellion against authority, comes from an old verb mutin, which means revolt, o sa Tagalog ay paghihimagsik. Cavite Mutiny, naganap ito sa Oksinal ng Cavite. Oksinal ay ang lugar ng paggawaan ng mga armas o bala ng mga Espanyol. Cavite Mutiny, uprising of military personnel of Fort San Felipe, the Spanish arsenal in Cavite, Philippines, on January 20, 1872. So, naganap ang pag-aalsa sa mismong lugar ng Cavite at nangyari ito noong January 20, 1872. Around 200 soldiers and laborers rose up in the belief that it would elevate to a national uprising. The mutiny was unsuccessful and government soldiers executed many of the participants. So, 2. The martyrdom of the three priests. Ang pag-aalsa ang ginamit na batayan upang isakdal at bitayin ang tatlong paring Pilipino. Ito ay sina Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, o mas kilalang Gumburza. Gumburza, collective name of the three martyred priests, tagged as the masterminds of the Cavite Mutiny. So, yan ang mga tatlong pare na napagbintangan ng mga Kastila. Gumburza, they were prominent Filipino priests charged with treason and sedition. Ang ibig sabihin ng treason ay ang pagtataksil at ang sedition naman ay ang panunulsol laban sa pamahalaan. The Spanish clergy connected the priests to the mutiny as part of a conspiracy to stifle the movement of secular priests who desired to have their own parishes instead of being assistants to the regular friars. Atin kilalanin ang tatlong pari. Ang una ay si Father Mariano Gomez, an old man in his mid-70s, Chinese-Filipino born in Cavite. He held the most senior position of the three as Archbishop's Vicar in Cavite. He was truly nationalistic and accepted the death penalty calmly as though it were his penance for being pro-Filipinos. Si Father Mariano Gomez ang pinakamatanda sa tatlong pare. Siya ay Pilipino na may lahing Chinese at pinanganak ito sa Cavite. Siya ang may mataas na posisyon sa Archbishops. Si Father Mariano Gomez ay tinanggap niya na lang ang hatol sa kanya na death penalty as pro-Filipinos. Ang pangalawang pari naman ay si Father Jose Burgos, Spanish descent, born in the Philippines. He was a parish priest of the Manila Cathedral and had been known to be close to the liberal Governor General de la Torre. He was 35 years old at that time and was active and outspoken in advocating the Filipinization of the clergy. So, ipinanganak siya sa Pilipinas at isa siyang pare dito sa Manila Cathedral. Si Father Jose ang pangalawa sa inakusahan sa tatlong pare.
Born in the Philippines, Father Jacinto Zamora, he was the parish priest of Marikina and was known to be unfriendly too, and would not countenance any arrogance or authoritative behavior from Spaniards coming from Spain. So, the Father Jacinto Zamora born August 14 in 1835 and namatay siya noong February 17, taong 1872 sa edad na 37. So, sino ba nagpapatay kay Jacinto Zamora? So, ang nagpapatay kay Jacinto Zamora is si Governor Rafael. Sa kadahilanan is pinagbintangan sila na sila yung pasimuno na sumugod sa front San Felipe na 200 Filipinos. So sila yung pinagbintangan doon. Kaya sinabi ni Governor Rafael is ipapatay sila. At sa mga base sa mga nabasa ko nung nagbasa ako sa mga ibang article or sa mga ibang libro, is isa yun sa mga dahilan. So napakaraming dahilan. Spanish account of mutiny. So, number 1, Montero's accounts of Cavite mutiny. An excerpt from Montero's account from Cavite mutiny. The idea of attaining their independence, it was toward this goal that they started to work. They were powerful assistant of certain section of the native clergy. So, ang dinidiin nila dito is yung tatlong pare. Na simula nung naging pare sila is lumakas na yung loob nila upang kalabanin si Governor Rafael. Pero hindi naman yun yung totoo na gusto ng tatlong pare is tulungan lang yung mga Pilipino. Jose Montero y Vidal, Spanish historian, and his account centered on how the event was attempted in overthrowing the Spanish government in the Philippines. His accounts of mutiny was criticized was woeful bias. So bakit sinabing bias ang tagapagsalaysay na si Jose Montero y Vidal? Kasi nga isa rin siyang Spaniard. So, yung kanyang paniniwala is mas bumabase siya kay Governor Rafael. Kasi nga pala silang Spaniard. Kaya pag sinabi ni Monteros na karapat-dapat lang talaga na pahulihin yung tatlong praile, which is kasama doon si Zamora, is yun ang sasabihin niya. Kahit na hindi naman katotohanan. Kasi nga siya ay isang bias and talagang partido siya ng Spaniard. So, number 2, official reports of Governor Izquierdo on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872. Governor Rafael Izquierdo implicated native clergy who were active the moment toward secularization of parishes. So, in a biased report, he highlighted the attempt to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines to install a new hari in the person of Burgos and Zamora. So, kasi nga, ang dating kay Governor Rafael is parang siya yung gustong yung tatlong pari na yon, ang dating kay Rafael is, or kay Governor Rafael na yung tatlong pari ay mamuno sa Pilipinas. Kaya naman agad niya itong pinahuli. So, according to Izquierdo, native clergy attracted supporters by giving the charismatics assurance that their fight would not fail because they had God's support. Inside promises of lofty rewards such as employment, wealth, and ranks in army. So ito yung tumatakbo sa isip ni Governor Rafael kung bakit malakas yung loob ng tatlong pari upang kalabanin siya. So next slide is answer from an excerpt from the official reports of Governor Escuerdo on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872. It was been clearly determined if they plan to establish a monarchy or a republic, because the Indios have no words in their language to describe this form of government. Were those head, the Filipinos would be called hari, but it turns out of they would place at the head of the government a priest. That head selected would be the Burgos or the Asinto. So ito yung sinasabi ni Governor na sa mga Indios or sa mga Pilipino.
The event of 1872 was planned earlier and was thought of it as a big conspiracy among educated leaders, mestizos, lawyers, and residents of Manila and Cavite. They allegedly planned to liquidate high-ranking Spanish officers then kill friars. According to the accounts, on January 20, 1872, the district of Sampaloc celebrated the Feast of Virgin of Loreto. Unfortunately, the participants of the feast celebrated the occasion with the usual fireworks display. Allegedly, those in Cavite mistook the fireworks as the sign for the attacks, and just like what was agreed upon. And the 200-man contingent, headed by Sergeant Lamradid, launched an attack targeting the Spanish officers inside and seized the arsenal. When the news reached the Iron Fist, the Governor Escuador hurriedly ordered the reinforcement of the Spanish force in Cavite to quell the revolt. The revolution was easily crushed when the expected reinforcement from Manila did not come ashore. Major instigators, including the Sergeant Lamradid, were killed in the skirmish, while the Gomborza or Padre Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora were tried by a court-martial, were sentenced to die by strangulation. Patriots like Joaquin Pardo de Tavera, Antonio Maria, Regidor Jose and Pio Basa, and other abogadillos were suspended by the audiencia from the practice of law, arrested and were sentenced with life imprisonment at the Marias Island. On February 17, 1872, in an attempt of the Spanish government and Prelocracia to instill fear among the Filipinos, so that they may never commit such daring act again, the Gomborza were executed. This event was tragic but served as one of the moving forces that shaped Filipino nationalism. And next, differing account of the event of 1872. First, Pardo de Tavera's account of the Cavite Mutiny, and second, Clausiot's account of the Cavite Mutiny.
So, according to Pardo de Tavera, the incident was merely a mutiny by Filipino soldiers and laborers of the Cavite arsenal to the dissatisfaction arising from the draconian policies of Izquierdo. So, ang arsenal is paggawaan ng mga armas katulad ng bala ng mga Espanyol na nasa Cavite. So, ang Cavite Mutiny nangyari ito dahil ang namamahala sa gobyerno ng Espanya na si Izquierdo ay inalisan niya ng privilege at pinagbawalan ang mga Filipino soldiers at mga manggagawa ng Cavite Mutiny na mag-establish ng School of Arts and Trades at na-accept rin sila sa paggawa ng kalsada at barko. Dahil dun sa ginawa ng Governor General ng Espanya, nainis at nagalit ang mga tao sa Cavite kaya they revolted against the Spaniards na nandoon sa arsenal. The central Spanish government was planning to deprive the friars of all the powers of intervention in matters of civil government and direction and management of educational institutions. So, Ang pamahalaan ng sentral ng Espanya ay nagpaplano na tanggalan ang mga friars. Friars is yung nagtuturo about sa Christianity ng kapangyarihan pagdating sa pamahalaang sibil at pamamahala ng mga institusyong pang-edukasyon. An excerpt from Pardo de Tavera's account of the Cavite Mutiny. Filipino has great hopes of an improvement in the affairs of their country. The friars feared that their power in the colony would soon be complete a thing of the past. So, ang mga Pilipino raw ay may malaking pag-asa para mapabuti ang usapin ng kanilang bansa. Ang mga friars ay natatakot na ang kanilang kapangyarihan or impluwensya ay maging isang bagay na lamang ng nakaraan. Kaya sinamantala ang insidente na ito para iharap sa gobyerno ng Espanya bilang isang pagsasabwatan na may layunin na wasakin ang soberanya ng Espanya. Edmond Plochut, a French writer, complemented Tavera's account and analyzed the motivation of 1872 Cavite Mutiny. So, si Edmond Plochut, na isang French writer, ay kinumpleto ang account ni Taveras at na-motivate siya na pag-aralan kung anong nangyari sa Cavite Mutiny noong 1872. An excerpt from Plochut's account of the Cavite Mutiny. The arrival in Manila of General Izquierdo put a sudden end to all dreams of reforms. Such a policy must really end in a strong desire on the part of the other to repress cruelly. So, pagdating ni General Izquierdo sa Manila ay ang biglang pag-alis niya ng mga patakaran na naging malupitan. Differing accounts. Friars used Cavite Mutiny as a part of a large conspiracy to cement their dominance. Yung mga friars, ginamit nila yung Cavite Mutiny para mapalaki yung mga issue at para sila pa rin yung maghari. They showcased the mutiny as part of a greater conspiracy in the Philippines by Filipinos to overthrow the Spanish government. Ipinakita rin nila ang pag-aalsa bilang bahagi ng higit na pagsasabwatan sa Pilipinas ng mga Pilipino upang mapabagsak ang gobyerno ng Espanya. Unintentionally, it resulted in the martyrdom of Gumburza and paved way to the revolution culminating in 1898. So ayun nga, intentionally nagresulta ito ng pagkamartir ng Gumburza at naging daan sa revolusyon na natapos noong 1898. Rizal dedicated his second novel, El Filibusterismo, to their memory. I dedicate my work to you as victims of the evil which I undertake to combat. So, isa rin si Rizal na nakabalita or nakaalam sa kawalan ng hustisya sa Gumburza. Noong mga panahon na iyan ay bata pa lamang siya. Kinwento lang ng kapatid niya na si Pasiano yung nangyaring ginawa ng mga Kastila sa Gumburza at sa mga Pilipino. Kaya dito namula si Jose Rizal na dapat magkaroon ng pagbabago sa bansa natin. So ayun nga, dinedicate niya yung El Filibusterismo sa mga naging biktima ng mga Kastila.